All right, now let's dig into the lesson plans that are available to you with your Essential Elements music class subscription. Okay, so when I look here, I'm going to go up to the tab Lessons. And when I click the drop down, I have a choice of elementary, middle school, or custom. We're not going to get into custom too much today. That's for another day, another time. But let's go with elementary first. So we spent a ton of time creating these 180 lessons for you that are vertically and horizontally aligned from K through 5 for your general music class. But listen, we've written them in a way that you don't have to do them in order. There are 30 per grade level. If you want to switch it up, my friends. But you can also do them in the way with which we created them. So I click that lesson overview tab. Let me share this tab instead. You're going to see some information, some background into what went into creating these lessons. So there's a consistent structure within them. There's always a lesson overview with objectives and standards, a welcome song or activity, a learning goal, vocabulary, connection step. There's songs and activities focused on meeting those learning goals. There's always a standalone social emotional learning activity, but we've got it also embedded throughout the entire lesson. And then you've got a self-check of learning goals, summative or formative assessments, and a closing song and activity. And I'm going to tell you right now, we wrote these our initial goal was like 30-ish minutes. There's at least 40 to 55 minutes worth of material for you to use. So I don't think anybody can say there's not enough in a lesson to cover the amount of time you have with your kiddos. We've also mapped out our concepts from K to 5 and aligned them throughout these 30 lessons. So you know when these concepts when we're introducing them, when we're developing them, and when we're working on mastering them. And that is mapped out for you. The first unit is beat, rhythm, duration. Then we go to meter, then pitch, melody, harmony, then timbre, then form, and last but certainly not least, expressive elements, which is your tempo, your dynamics, and your articulation. So this is a really great kind of roadmap, so you know when concepts are happening and where you can find them within it. Okay, so let's also talk about the SEL. There are 5 core competencies for SEL: self-awareness, self-management, relationship skills, social awareness, and responsible decision-making. Within each, so I'm going to go with kindergarten. I'm going to show you. I'm also showing you, by the way, how to filter. I just want to see the 30 kindergarten lessons. Bam, here they are. The first 5 lessons are beat, duration, and rhythm. See how they're labeled right here, 3, 4, 5, and then we go to meter. But there's also some beat, duration, rhythm. We're never like ending something. It's going to continue. So within those 5 lessons, each one of those 5 lessons focuses on one of the 5 social emotional learning core competencies. So you know if you do the 30 lessons for kindergarten, your kids are working on self-management at least 6 times because 5 anyway, so that's a really great thing. But then it's also embedded and called out throughout there. So I just filtered by grade level. Well, maybe I want to filter by music concept. I want all of the lessons that are expressive elements. And then, by the way, you can filter down exactly what do you want to work on. I want to work on tempo, fast or slow. Here are the 2 lessons that do that in kindergarten. Or do I want to see the individual steps for the lesson? You can see that as well, that we've tagged as tempo, fast, or slow. You can also filter by National Core Art Standard. And if I select Standard 1, I can then break it down even further to which creating standard I want. Or again, I want kindergarten, and man, my kids are struggling with self-awareness. Boom. Here are the lessons. Sorry, there we go. Let me tag that back. Here are the 6 lessons that will help them work on those skills. So what does it look like? Let me click view the steps for one of these lessons to show you. So you can see each little square. Again, that consistency you're going to see throughout. Here's the overview, the welcome song, the learning goals. Now we have a connection step. How can we connect this concept to the outside world? Part 2 of the connection step, vocabulary, essential instruction, activities, SEL activity, learning goals assessment, learning goals check, closing activity, closing song. So it has that consistent format. We've also included welcoming songs and closing songs connected to holidays that may fall if you do them in order. But if you aren't doing it in that order or at that time of year, up in the lesson plan tab, we give you an alternative song that you could use. So, what do you mean lesson plan? Well, right here, print lesson plan. Here's your entire lesson plan, folks, for this lesson that we've written out in a scripted way that even the greenest, newest teacher could have great ideas. And those that are, very seasoned veterans, take what you want, use what you want, make it your own. We've got discussion prompts. We're telling you what materials can be used. And it's really kind of scripted out with movements and what to do. So it's really giving you everything you might need. So if I click launch, let me show you this super fast. Right here, again, we'll get you that full lesson plan, but I can click let me share this tab instead. If I click the arrow, it's going to take me to the next part of the lesson. And maybe you want to skip something. All right, I don't want to do the learning goals for some reason. I don't want to do them. And again, they're in kid-friendly language, or I don't want to do the connection part one. I'm going to jump ahead to part two. Again, tracks embedded, everything on the screen, super easy to follow. What am I supposed to do with this? Let me click that book. It's going to tell me. There are the teaching steps right there for how we intended it to be used. So that is a very quick overview of all of those great elementary lessons. Again, you can customize them, folks, fully customizable. See, there's a folder here to put any one of these steps into a playlist. You can do that. You can turn off a step. If you don't want to just click the drop down and skip it, you can turn it off and then it won't even show up when you put this on the screen to your kids. And you can save multiple versions up here of however you want to do these lessons. Now, let's go to the middle school. So in middle school, we have for you right now 3. There are more coming. I can tell you they're in the works, but we've got a modern band, we've got world music drumming, and we've got guitar class method for you that will take you through everything you might need to know to teach modern band in your middle school in your middle school general music classroom. There's a guitar class method. Here it is. Again, can be added to a playlist. Looks very similar to the recorder and ukulele, right? It gives them that essential instruction with the backing tracks and everything they need to go through this book. So there is so much. I hope you have learned through these videos. There's so much in Essential Elements music class to get your kids rock and rolling and having a great time through general music.